Hey guys, this is Dominator of the World, doing my first ever commentary video on Empire Total War. I command the U.S. and my opponent, Zweisner, I believe his name is, commands the Prussians. This is my first battle ever, except for this one battle I did against a computer to find out formations and whatnot. But anyways, in my army, I contain, I believe, 6 units of light infantry, 1 unit of minutemen, 1 unit of militia infantry, 2 unit of 12-pounder foot artillery, and a couple of line infantry. I'm not exactly sure how many though, because the list that I wrote all the units down on apparently got lost, so I'm having to remember what's on this battle. But anyways, here's my general. There was my general, and he looked quite royal. I also have 2 regiments of regiment of horse. My opponent, Zweisner, has 1 unit of regiment of horse, 1 general's bodyguard, 2 units of, I forgot how to pronounce the name, but it starts with a G. It's Drenmir or something. He has 2 units of 4-inch motor battery units, 1 unit of militia, 3 units of light infantry, and 5 units of line infantry. He also has 1 unit of cuirassier, I believe. He has a hill advantage in this battle, so I started the unit by not moving up very much. I only moved my light infantry up a bit, and I'm gonna soon bring up my line infantry to go behind my light infantry. My light infantry, as you can see, has set up their spikes to repel any cavalry charge that my opponent might want to take. Because since he has a hill advantage, that'd be quite devastating if he sent in all his cavalry against my skirmishers. Excuse me. So here, I'm gonna keep my guys here for a period of about 15 minutes before I start to move my guys up. So this video is gonna be very heavily edited. And over here, a couple of minutes later, I brought my cavalry up around this big rock so that I could go behind his lines and try to take out his 1 unit of his artillery at least, because I only had 2 units of regiment of horse, so that wasn't very much. But he sees this coming and he sends all his cavalry in to intercept. So I'm gonna get my cavalry slaughtered, but it wouldn't have mattered much since cavalry isn't a very important factor in this game, unlike in Rome Total War. So there are his, if you can see in the background, there are his 2 light infantry units that were hidden in the forest, and now his cavalry has charged into mine. And this video is gonna lag a bit later on, and I think that's because my computer got a bit hot while the game was running. So I'm gonna have to find out a way to make it cooler while the game is running so that I can record and it'll be a bit faster and not laggy. But anyways, 1 of my units of regiment of horse are starting to rout, and now my other one is gonna rout very soon. So over here in the center, he sent in his militia unit to hide in these bushes here, and he's gonna send in his light infantry to hide in those trees there. There are his light infantry, and this was 15 minutes later. And I got bored of waiting, so I sent my light infantry up so that I could try to engage my enemy. So I see his guys ambush me a bit, and I stopped my advance for 1 of my units, and I was pretty lucky where I stopped because they stopped right in front of this little hill here, so they got some cover from my opponent's bullets. But of course the right flank of that unit is going to be shooting into the hill, so I'm going to eventually move my guys to a better position. But yeah, I was quite lucky to move my guys in such a good way. But anyways, here we're engaging his militia unit, and his militia unit only have a range of 70 or so, so they can't attack back. And here's the outcome. Both of his units start to rout, and my guys were charging, but I decided to call off the charge, and I'm going to move all my light infantry back into formation before I move up against his main line infantry units. As you saw, he moved his light infantry on that big rock, and I guess he was hoping that that would improve his range because he would have a elevation advantage, and it proves to be a good choice because he manages to rout my left flank, because I was unaware that it was that close to the rock. But anyways, after I get close enough, I start taking shots on his guys, but then his guys decide to charge on my light infantry, and as you can see, he's routed every single one of them. But I'm proud of my light infantry because they managed to rout 2 of his Prussian units, and I was kind of shocked about that because this was my first time playing the game, and light infantry proved to be effective. But he charged with all his cavalry, as you're seeing right now, and his cavalry didn't reach my light infantry in time, so they're gonna crash right into my line infantry. I managed to get 1 unit into square, but it was a wrong unit. So 2 of my units got charged by the cavalry head-on, and I'm gonna try to get them into square while they're having a bayonet fight with his cavalry. But anyways, the guys on my left and right flank are shooting at Zweisner's infantry, who have decided not to fire at all in this battle, and they're just gonna bayonet charge each one of my units. So one of his cavalry units has already started to rout from my square formation, which is starting to form. But that unit of Americans is gonna get overrun eventually because there's just too many Prussian troops that he's gonna send. And basically, that's how he routs most of my guys. He just overwhelms them with the might of the Prussian bayonet. But anyways, one of his Prussian units decides to charge one of my full squares, and they start to rout, I think. But anyways, this is my left flank. They were unharassed entirely by his Prussian units, so they're basically just standing there doing nothing. So I'm going to set them into a formation where they can shoot the Prussians from behind, and that will demoralize them. My right flank is also unmolested, and they're giving a bit of a frontal shot, but his Prussians managed to crush my center, so they're deciding to fold into my right flank, and they're gonna pick off my right flank 1 unit at a time. And at the end, it's only gonna be my left flank that survives, which is quite amazing, I think, because they survived with almost the same amount of men that they came into the battle with, almost 120. So here's a little close-up of the fight my guys are in. And now here's my left flank again, except in a better shot view. And they're shooting at the Prussians here. And the Prussians have done away with my right flank. So now all my other units are routing, except for my artillery and my left flank. But I managed to rout one of his units here, and his units are gonna bayonet charge into my line infantry. And now he cannot overwhelm my line infantry because his units are so depleted that we basically make up the same. We're basically equal in this bayonet charge in numbers, but not in units, because he still has like 3 or 4 units going into this bayonet fight, and I only have 2, but we have the same numbers. And as you can see, I've routed one of his units in the bayonet fight already, and he only has 3 left now, and eventually they're gonna rout too. But here's a little close-up of the bayonet fight, and right now, as you can see, it's lagging, and I'm sorry about that, but my computer got overheated, I guess, and not much I could do about that in this battle, and it took way too long to record, so I'm not gonna change it. So in the background, you can see my Star-Spangled Banner there, waving majestically, and there's Prussia's flag in front of my other Star-Spangled Banner. So here's the bayonet fight, and his bayoneters consist of light infantry, 1 unit of light infantry at least, and the rest are his line infantry, if not one of them is his militia. But I think his militia didn't come back. Oh, also I forgot to tell you that in the battle previous, he killed my general because he charged one of his guys into my general, and I decided to take them on since there wasn't that much in that unit. And he manages to overwhelm my general unit, and he kills him. But anyways, you saw that I went up all the way through the hill, and I charged his artillery, and I managed to rat them, and that's the end of the game. So good game to my opponent, zweisner, and hope you enjoyed this video.